Hello everyone, my name is Ms. Disha Adani and let's continue with our subject Human Resource Management. In today's lecture, we are going to study selection. What is selection? What is the meaning of selection? What are factors affecting selection? And what is the procedure of selection? Okay. So let's study what is the meaning of selection. Selection is a process of picking or choosing the right candidate who is more suitable for a vacant position in an organization. Okay. Selection means what? You are deciding who is going to be employed in your organization. Okay. Selection means deciding who is suitable for your organization, who should work for your organization from all the applications received and all the interviews done. Okay. In last lecture we studied about recruitment. What is recruitment? We are encouraging people to apply for the job vacancy that we have. So in selection, what we are doing, those people who have applied to the organization for job vacancy, we select from those people who are suitable to our business. Okay. In other words, selection can also be explained as a process of interviewing the candidates and evaluating their qualities which are required for specific job and then choosing the suitable candidate for the position. Okay, so in this, what it is given that after recruiting, after publicity that we have vacancy in our organization, and making people motivated so they apply for the job vacancy in the organization, we are going to interview now the people who have applied for the job vacancy. Okay, the people now who have applied for the job vacancy, we are going to interview them. We are going to see what kind of qualities they have. We are going to compare their qualities with the needs of the organization, and then we are going to select whoever is suitable for that position. Okay. Selection is the process of selecting a qualified person who can successfully do a job and deliver valuable contributions to the organization. Okay, selection, you can say, is a negative process. Why it is a negative process? Because we are removing the people, because we are bifurcating the people. We are removing the people who won't be useful for the organization. Okay, so selection is a process of selecting a qualified person. Means from 10 we are choosing one, or you can say from 10 we are choosing 3. Okay, who can successfully do a job and deliver valuable contribution. So we are finding these people, those people who can do a good job, who know how to do their job, who have the qualities to do the job, and can contribute in the working of the organization, can contribute in the work process of the organization. Okay. The selection procedure is a system of functions and devices adopted in a given company to ascertain whether candidate specifications are matched with the job specifications or not. Okay, so this is a definition of selection. The selection procedure is a system of functions and devices adopted in a given company. So selection is not just I choose this person. No, it is a proper systematic way. It has different steps. It is a proper big function, and it is a system of functions that many small parts are included in that. It has various different steps adopted by the company to ascertain whether a candidate specifications are matched with the company or not. Okay, so with different steps we compare the human resource or the person candidate who has applied for the job with the job specifications that we have. Example, let's take, we have a job vacancy for an IT engineer in our organization. Okay, so when we see we have a requirement for IT engineer, or you say we want a person who can do coding. Okay, we want a person who can do coding. So how many applicants are given? Say there are 10 applicants given. 10 applicants have applied in our organization. What are our needs? What are our demands from that people? Number 1, he should have knowledge of computer languages. Number 2, it would be preferable if he or she is IT engineer. Number 3, he or she should have experience set of 2 years. Okay, so when these 10 people have come, we are ticking the boxes. Is that person an engineer? Okay, tick. Is that person having experience of 2 years? Tick. Is that person having knowledge of computer languages? Tick. Then we say that this person is suitable for a job, and we interview them, and then we select whoever is best for that position. Okay. So next is, the selection procedure cannot be effective until and unless the requirement of job to be filled have been clearly specified. Okay, the selection procedure cannot be effective. Why? here what is given, that the selection procedure, if you want to make the best selection procedure, these three things should be made sure that you have properly mentioned. Okay, these, you should have clear objectives, you should have a clear view sight of what kind of candidate you want. If you don't know what kind of candidate you want, you can't select the appropriate person. Okay, and even if you know what kind of candidate you want, you should mention that specifically in recruitment process, that what kind of candidate you want, so the best possible people can come and apply for the job. Okay, the first is requirement of job to be filled have been clearly specified. Okay, so when you need an IT engineer, you should mention that we need an IT engineer, rather than mentioning we need a person who works with computers. When we say we need a person who works for computer, everyone works with computer. No one can say that I don't work with computer. Everyone knows how to work with computers. But when you want an IT engineer, you should specify that we are looking for an engineer or an expert person in computer languages, in computer coding and etc. Okay. Next is employee specification. In employee specification, we are going to specify what kind of employee we want. We want a fresher, or we want experienced person, or we want at particular age group, we want particular skill group. What kind of specifications are required, you should mention that properly, so that the selection procedure becomes easy and effective. Okay, next is candidates for screening have been attracted. Okay, so what is given over here, the candidates must be candidates must be attracted, means what, your recruitment procedure should be well. Okay, the advertisement for job vacancy should be good enough that the kind of person we want has reached this advertisement, and he or she has been willing to apply for the job. Okay, so selection procedure cannot be effective until you have been clearly mentioned what kind of person you want in your organization. You have clearly mentioned what kind of skill sets that person needs to have, and whether the recruitment process has been done widely and largely, so that you get the kind of employee that are you looking for. Thus, the development of job analysis, HR planning and recruitment are necessary prerequisites to the selection process. Okay, so these three, if you do well, then your you can say selection procedure will become easier and effective. Okay, so for these three things, what are you doing? You're doing a proper job analysis. Okay, exactly what kind of person you want. Okay, HR planning means you should know in advance that we are going to require how many people, we are going to require when, how many people. So HR planning should be also good, and recruitment also should be good. Recruitment means what, attracting the people or motivating people to apply for the job should also be good. Okay, so next let's study the essentials of selection procedure. Okay, someone should have authority to select. Someone should have authority to select means what, the authority comes from the employment requisition as developed by an analysis of workload and workforce. Okay, there should be someone who has the power to select. Just taking interviews is not enough. You should know there should be power. Okay, there should be HR, or there should be CEO of the company, or there should be manager or product line manager who should know what is the workforce and what is the workload in the organization, so that they can select the appropriate candidate for the organization. Okay, there must be some standard of personnel with which a prospective employee may be compared. Okay, so you should have a standard list with which you can compare the employees, the candidates who are coming for job interviews. Okay, yeah, every interviewer should have a list of things. Every interviewer should know what kind of things you need for if you need in the employee, so that you can select the best employee. Okay, means if you are starting an interview, okay, let's say you are starting an interview for salesman. Okay, so there are three interviewers. Okay, there are three interviewers and you are looking for a salesman. So every three interviewers should know what age that person should have, what personality that person should have, what qualification that person should have, how good their speaking skills should be, how good their appearance skills should be. Okay, So they should have some standard goals to which they can compare. Okay, means let's say he or she should be able to speak and speak in English, right, and should be able to communicate properly and smoothly in more than two languages. Okay, so this is a bar graph, this is a benchmark you are going to have, that you can that you are going to compare, and whoever crosses this benchmark or whoever crosses this limit is suitable for the organization. Okay, next, there must be sufficient number of applicants from whom the required number of employees may be selected. Okay, so your recruitment process should be good enough that there are many or at least sufficient number of applicants. Okay, example, you need 10 IT engineers. Okay, when you need 10 IT engineers and you do not do the recruitment procedure very goodly, okay, very nicely, then what is going to happen? You won't find enough IT engineers to be employed. Okay, you will only get a request from 4 to 5 IT engineers, because you did not do a very good procedure in advertising the job vacancy. Okay, so it must be made sure that your advertisement is done on the proper scale. Okay, if you need one IT engineer, 4 to 5 are enough to enough candidates to interview. But when you need 10, you should make sure that at least you have 30 plus candidates to interview, so that you can select the best from them. Okay, therefore it is given that there must be sufficient number of applicants from whom the required number of employees may be selected. Okay, there should be sufficient number, there should be enough number, so that you can select the best possible employee for the organization. Now let's study the scientific procedure of selection. Okay, there is a standard selection process that can be followed by all companies in any areas. Companies may follow different selection techniques or methods depending upon the size of the company, nature of the business, kind and number of the persons to be employed, government regulations to be followed, etc. Thus, each company may follow any one or possible combinations of method of selection in order convenience or suitable to it. Okay, there is no standard procedure, there is no fixed 10 skill sets that you should do. Okay, here what it is given. Let's take interviewing. Let's take a simple step of selection. Let's take an example. We'll study this in detail ahead. First, let's understand the example. So it is an job interview. Okay, there is selection procedure happening. So according to a Tata company decides that there would be first written forms would be filled, written test would be taken. Number 2, whoever will clear the written test will go ahead for the, you can say, oral interview, and after that they will go for physical testing, or you can say medical exams, and then whoever gets selected would be finally selected. Okay, so here Tata company is following just 3 steps. Okay, but there are many steps that you can follow. Okay, there are many ways to choose the people according to your need, according to your demand. Okay, if you are choosing person for army, then you need to see that if that person is physically fit, or if that person has a particular height, particular weight, particular mindset for becoming an army. Okay, but if you are selecting for IT engineer, you are not looking their height, weight and age, you are looking the computer skills, you are looking the education, you are looking their technological advancement skills. Okay, so according to the company, according to the business, according to the kind and nature of the job, there are going to be different procedures that you can do. Okay, so for IT engineer there is no need to do medical examination, but when you are selecting a person for army, it is necessary to do medical examination. Okay, so selection procedure employs several methods of collecting information about the candidate's qualifications, experience, physical and mental ability, nature and behavior, knowledge, aptitude, and the like, for judging whether a given applicant is or is not suitable for the job. Okay, so selection procedure is going to collect the qualification of the person, the experience, the physical and mental ability, the nature and behavior of that person, the knowledge and the aptitude of that person. Okay, with the selection process we are going to come to know what kind of candidate it is, and from that we can choose whether he or she is adequate for our organization, he or she will provide a good contribution to our organization or not. Okay,